Hi, I am Freya, and today I am going to talk about something that will change the way you learn forever. What if I told you there is a way to learn English faster than ever before? Sounds amazing, right? But it's true. And the best part is, it's not magic or a secret trick. It's something simple you can do every day. The secret to learning faster is listening. Listening is a very powerful tool for learning a language. When you listen, you hear words in context. This means you learn how words are used in real sentences. You are not just studying rules from a book, you are experiencing the language. For example, by listening, you naturally learn how to greet someone, how to ask questions, or how to express ideas in English. All of this happens without heavy study. It feels easy and natural. Why is listening the secret to fast learning? There are a few simple reasons. You learn like a child. Think about how babies learn their first language. They listen to their parents and family for a long time before they say a single word. Our brains are built to learn through sound. By listening, you pick up new words and phrases without even realizing it, just like a child does. No need to translate. When you listen a lot, you start to understand English without translating to your native language. For instance, if you always hear good morning, you eventually feel what it means instantly. You don't have to stop and think of the translation. This speeds up your understanding, better pronunciation, and rhythm. As you listen, you also learn how words are pronounced and the natural rhythm of English. Your brain absorbs the accent and intonation. Later, when you speak, you will sound more natural because you have heard so many examples. Learn anytime, anywhere. You can listen while doing other things, like walking, cooking, or resting. This means you can add hours of learning without sitting at a desk. The more you listen, the faster you will progress, even if you don't have extra time to study with books. Let me tell you a true story. I had a student named Maria. She studied English in school for years. She knew grammar rules and could read well, but she struggled to understand spoken English and speak confidently. Maria always read textbooks, but rarely listened to English in daily life. One day, she decided to change her method. She started listening to English podcasts and simple stories every day. At first, it was hard for her. She understood only a little and sometimes felt frustrated. But she kept going. She listened while eating breakfast and again before sleep, just enjoying the stories and voices. After a few weeks, Maria noticed something exciting. English started to make sense more quickly. She could catch common words and phrases. After a couple of months, she improved a lot. She could understand people in English much better than before. Her speaking also became smoother because she learned the natural way to say phrases from all that listening. Maria's English learning became faster and more fun once she made listening a daily habit. She improved dramatically just by listening, and you can do this too. Have you ever felt tired or bored when studying from a textbook? You are not alone. Reading grammar rules or word lists can feel like hard work. Our brains can get bored with dry information, but listening is different and much more engaging. When we listen to someone speaking, our brain is active and curious. We hear emotion, tone, and excitement in the voice. For example, if someone tells a funny story in English, you might laugh or smile even if you only catch a few words. Your brain enjoys the story and picks up the language naturally. This emotional connection helps you remember words and meanings better than just reading them from a page. Listening also paints a picture in your mind. If you hear a story about a blue car driving fast, you can imagine it. These images make the language come alive. A textbook might tell you past tense of go is went, which is dry. But a story you listen to might say, yesterday I went to the market, and you picture someone going to the market. This way, you learn the grammar, past tense, without even thinking about grammar rules. Your brain prefers this fun, natural method. It feels less like study and more like real life. That is why listening can often teach you more and faster than hours with a book. Now that you know the secret, I encourage you to try it for yourself. Make listening in English a part of your daily life. You can start small. For example, listen to a short English podcast or a YouTube video in English today. Do it again tomorrow. When you listen, pay attention to the words and phrases. If you hear a new word, try to guess its meaning from the conversation or story. You can always check the meaning later. The important part is to keep listening actively and regularly. You will be surprised at how quickly you improve. Every day, your brain will get better at understanding English. Soon, you will catch yourself understanding words you thought you would never learn so fast. It feels almost like a superpower when English suddenly becomes clearer to you just because you listened a lot. Before we finish, here's something important: consistency. Try to listen to English a little bit every day rather than once a week for a long time. Consistency is key. Just like exercising a muscle, your language skills grow faster when you train them often. Lastly, if you want more help and fun materials to listen to, check out the other videos on our legendary listens. We have many easy English stories, lessons, and tips that are perfect for practice. Pick ones that you enjoy. Remember, enjoying the process will help you learn faster. Happy listening and happy learning. I am so excited for you to experience faster learning through the power of listening. You have discovered a simple secret that can change your language learning journey. Now it's time to use it and see the results for yourself. Thank you for joining me today. Keep listening every day, keep practicing, and you'll be amazed at your progress. I can't wait to share more with you soon. Until next time, take care and enjoy your English journey. Are you making a mistake that is stopping you from learning English? Most new learners don't even know they are making this mistake. It is a very common problem, and it might be holding you back. This mistake can keep you stuck. But the good news is, once you see it, you can fix it. What is the mistake? The mistake is translating in your head. This means you think of words and sentences in your native language, your first language, and then try to change them into English in your mind. Many beginners do this without realizing it. It feels natural to do at first. You want to say something in English, but you think of it in your own language. Then you try to translate every word into English. This habit might feel like it helps, but it actually slows you down. Why is this a problem? Translating in your head is a problem because it makes speaking and understanding English much slower and harder. When you translate every word, you are doing double work. First, you think in your language. Second, you have to find the English words. Your brain has to do two jobs at the same time. This can confuse you and delay your speaking. You might also make mistakes because languages don't match word for word. For example, in some languages, to say your age, you might say, I have 20 years. If you translate that directly to English, you would say, I have 20 years. This sounds wrong in English. In English, we say, I am 20 years old. Another example. In some languages, you might say, I have hunger, to mean you are hungry. If you translate, you might say, I have hunger in English, but an English speaker actually says, I am hungry. These examples show that translating word by word can create strange or incorrect sentences. Translating in your head can also make you nervous. You might worry about translating each word correctly instead of listening to the other person, or instead of thinking of an answer quickly. Conversations become difficult because you are always a few seconds behind trying to translate. You can miss what someone said while you are busy translating the last sentence. This habit can stop you from becoming fluent. How do native speakers think? Native English speakers do not translate when they speak. They don't need to. English is their first language. They think directly in English. For example, when an English speaker wants to say, I am hungry, the idea and the English words come together at the same time. They are not thinking of another language at all. This is natural for them because they grew up with English. When you learn English as a second language, it is normal that you think in your own language first. Your brain is used to your native words, but you can train your brain to think in English, just like native speakers do. It takes time and practice, but it is possible. You don't need to be perfect. Even if your vocabulary is small now, you can start with simple words and ideas in English. A simple change to fix the mistake. How can you stop translating in your head? Make a small change. Start thinking in English step by step. You can practice this anytime, even when you are alone. Name things around you in English. Look around you right now. For every object you see, say the English name in your mind or even out loud. For example, if you see a book, think the word book in English, not the word in your native language. If you see a phone, think phone in English. Do this for common things you use every day: door, window, coffee, desk, shoe, any item. Make it a game to remember the English words. If you don't know a word, you can look it up and then use it next time. This practice trains your brain to connect objects and ideas directly with English words. Think in simple English sentences. You can do this in your daily routine. For example, when you wake up, tell yourself in English, I am awake or I am tired, but I will get up now. When you eat breakfast, you can think, I am eating bread and an egg. When you go to school or work, think, I am walking to the bus stop. These sentences are very simple. You might even say them out loud if you want. The idea is to get used to forming thoughts in English. Start with easy, present tense sentences about what you are doing. Don't worry about mistakes. No one will hear you if you are just thinking or practicing by yourself. The more you do this, the faster and easier it will become to talk to yourself in English. This will slowly push out the habit of always using your native language first. Use English media without translating. When you watch a short English video or listen to an English podcast, like this one, try not to translate what you hear into your language. Instead, focus on the meaning. You might not understand every word. That's okay. Try to understand the overall idea from the context, the tone, or pictures if it's a video. If you hear a new word, pause for a second. See if you can guess what it means in English from the story or sentence. If you cannot, you can check a dictionary after listening, not during. Stopping every time to translate will break your focus. So, challenge yourself to stay in English for the whole time you are listening or watching. This will train your brain to get comfortable with English without always leaning on your first language. These small changes are powerful. At first, it might feel strange or hard. You might automatically think of your native word, but with practice, you will notice something exciting. You start to think in English more naturally. Maybe you will see a dog on the street, and the word dog will pop up in your head instead of the word in your language. Maybe you will think, I need to buy milk while using English words without planning to. This is a great sign. It means you are starting to think like an English speaker. You can start this new habit right now. The next time you do something simple, try to describe it in English in your mind. Even one or two sentences in English are good. Do this every day, and you will get better little by little. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to get used to English in your daily life without translating. Over time, you will speak faster and understand more because you are not stopping to translate. Keep going. You are training your brain in a new way, and it will get easier each day. Remember, every time you think in English, you are building a strong skill. It's okay if you still translate sometimes. Catch yourself when you do it and gently switch back to English. Finally, if you want more help and practice, check out the other videos on our channel, Bookish English. We have many lessons and tips to help you learn English in a fun and easy way. You can find videos on other common mistakes and how to fix them, tips on speaking, listening, and much more. Start changing the way you think, and you will see big improvements in your English. Why is speaking in English so hard for many learners? This is a common question. Many people study English for a long time, yet speaking fluently, speaking easily without stopping, feels difficult. There is something no one tells you about speaking fluently, and it might surprise you. Speaking a new language can be scary. Why do so many learners struggle to speak English? There are a few simple reasons. Translating in the head. Many learners think in their own language first, then try to translate into English. This takes time and makes speaking slow. Fear of mistakes. A lot of people feel nervous and worry about saying something wrong. This fear stops them from speaking freely. Lack of practice. Some learners know grammar and vocabulary from books, but they never say the words out loud. Without practice, the words stay in the mind and don't come out easily in conversation. Do any of these sound like you? If yes, don't worry. Many English learners have the same problems. Now, here's the surprising secret to help you speak better. There is a hidden connection between listening and speaking. What is the secret to speaking fluently? It is listening. A lot of listening. This may sound strange at first. You might think, to speak well, I should speak more, right? Of course, speaking practice is important, but listening is the key that many people forget. Think about how babies learn a language. A baby listens to people around them for many months. They hear words and sentences every day. Then, after a long time listening, the baby starts to speak. Listening comes first, then speaking. The same is true for you. When you listen to English often, your brain learns the sounds and rhythms of English. You start to feel how English sentences work, even if you don't study every grammar rule. Listening a lot can make speaking easier because you naturally pick up pronunciation. By listening, you learn how words should sound. Your mouth will copy those sounds when you speak. Vocabulary and phrases. You hear many common words and phrases in context. Later, these words will come to your mind quickly when you speak. Sentence patterns. You get used to the way English sentences are formed. This helps you speak in full sentences without pausing to think of the grammar. Confidence. The more you hear English, the more comfortable you become with it. English won't feel strange, it will start to feel normal. This gives you confidence to speak. In short, the more you listen, the easier speaking becomes. Listening is like filling your brain with correct English. When you open your mouth to speak, the words flow out more smoothly because your brain knows the language from all that listening. So, how can you use listening to improve your speaking? Let's try a simple exercise. This exercise will train both your listening and speaking skills at the same time. It's easy to do every day. Choose a short audio or video in English. It could be a small clip from a movie, a podcast, or even a sentence from this channel. For beginners, it's best to pick a very short sentence or a simple phrase. Listen carefully, play the sentence, and focus on the sounds. How do the words link together? How is the rhythm? Pause the audio. After listening, pause the video or audio. Now it's your turn. Repeat the sentence out loud. Try to say it exactly as you heard it. Copy the pronunciation and tone. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Just try your best to mimic the speaker. Play the audio again. Listen one more time to the original sentence. Then compare it with your speaking. Did you say it the same way? Maybe you notice a word you said differently. That's okay. This is how you learn. Repeat the process. Go to the next sentence or the same sentence if it's challenging, and do it again. Listen, pause, speak. With practice, you will get closer and closer to the native speaker's sound. This simple listen and repeat exercise is powerful. It helps your mouth get used to speaking English. You are not just studying English, you are training yourself to speak, just like training a muscle. Over time, you will speak with less fear and more flow. You will notice the words come to you faster. Even if you make mistakes, it's okay. You are improving each time you try. Now that you know this secret, try it. Find a few minutes today to do a listening and speaking exercise. You can start with one easy sentence. Listen to it and speak it out loud. Tomorrow, do it again with another sentence or a short conversation. Make it a fun daily habit. Remember, every time you listen, you are teaching yourself how to speak. The more you listen and repeat, the more fluent you will become. Speaking English fluently will no longer feel impossible. You are training for it every day in a simple way. Finally, don't forget to keep learning. Check out other videos on our legendary listens for more easy English tips and lessons. We have lots of helpful content to guide you. Keep listening, keep practicing, and enjoy the process. Speaking fluently takes time, but with these secrets and consistent practice, you will get better and better. What if there was a way to learn English without even trying? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, guess what? There is a special listening trick that can make English stick in your brain. It works almost like magic. In this lesson, we will share a simple listening hack that helps you learn English faster than ever. Why old methods fail. Many people try to learn English with old methods that do not work well. These methods can be boring and hard. Memorizing long lists of words. This is tiring and easy to forget. Studying complex grammar rules. This can be confusing for beginners. Translating everything. This makes your brain slow down. You keep switching languages in your head. Traditional learning methods often fail because they are not natural. They make you feel tired or bored, and you might give up. Think about it. In real life, we do not learn our first language by reading word lists or grammar tables. We learn by listening. So let's try a different a way that feels easy and fun. How do native speakers, people who grew up speaking English, learn as children? They listen first. A baby listens to its parents and family for a long time before saying any words. The child's brain soaks up the language slowly. There are no textbooks, no tests, and no stress. The child's ears get used to the sound of the language naturally. You can train your ears in the same way. Even if you are an adult, you can learn like a child. This means spending a lot of time hearing English. Don't worry if you do not understand everything at first. Just like a baby, you are learning even when you don't realize it. Your brain is catching the sounds and patterns. Little by little, you will understand more. When you train your ears, you learn how words flow in sentences. You catch the rhythm and music of English. Native speakers do this naturally by growing up with the language. You can do it by surrounding yourself with English sounds. It's okay to start with very easy content, even simple children's songs or basic greetings. The key is to listen often. The more you hear, the faster you will learn. The magic listening trick. Listen passively, learn easily. Now, what is this special listening hack that works like magic? It is simple. Listen to English passively every day. Passive listening means you listen to English while you're doing something else, and you're not studying very hard. It's like learning without trying. Here's how you do it. Choose Easy Audio. Find a very simple English audio or video that you enjoy. It could be a short story, a beginner podcast episode, or a fun English song. Make sure it is easy to understand and not too long. A few minutes is fine. Play it every day. Listen to this audio at least once each day. You can play it in the background while you cook, clean, travel, or relax. You do not need to sit and study. Just let it play. Don't worry about understanding everything. At first, you might only catch a few words. That's okay. Do not stop the audio to look up words. Don't force yourself to translate. Simply let the English flow into your ears. Repeat and enjoy. Play the same audio many times over several days. Repetition is magic. Each time, you will understand a little more. Because you chose something you enjoy, it doesn't feel boring to hear it again. You might even start to look forward to it, like listening to a favorite song on repeat. By following these steps, you are learning English without stress. You will notice something amazing. Phrases and words from the audio will start to stick in your memory. Maybe you find yourself humming the English song you listened to, or saying a line from the story. You didn't memorize it from a book, you picked it up naturally. This is the magic of the listening hack. Why does this work? When you hear the same words used in the same way many times, your brain creates a strong memory. Think about how you remember the chorus of a song after hearing it again and again. You weren't trying to memorize the lyrics, it just happened. In the same way, by passive listening, you remember English words and phrases easily. They become familiar, like old friends in your mind. Another great thing about this trick is that it improves your pronunciation too. As you listen, you are also learning how words sound from native speakers. Later, you can try to imitate what you heard. Because your ears are well trained, your mouth will find it easier to copy the sounds. Little by little, you will start sounding more natural when you speak. All of this comes from a method that feels almost effortless. Are you ready to try this magic listening hack? It's easy and anyone can do it. Starting today, find a few minutes to listen to Easy English audio. Remember, choose something fun, a story, a song, or even a legendary listens video made for beginners. Then just relax and listen. Do it again tomorrow and the next day. Make it a friendly daily habit. Give it a week and see what happens. You will likely be surprised at how much you pick up. Words will start to sound familiar. You might understand new phrases without using a dictionary. Learning English will feel more natural. Consistency is key. A little bit of listening every day can bring big results. We encourage you to try this listening trick and see the magic for yourself. And remember, this is just one easy hack to help you learn English. There are many more tips and tricks to explore. If you found this helpful, check out our other videos on the legendary listens for more help. We have lots of simple and fun ideas to make learning English easy for you. So, go ahead and put on that English audio. Have fun with it. Happy listening, and stay tuned for more exciting ways to learn. Your English journey has only just begun, and we're excited to share it with you. Enjoy the magic of listening. What if I told you that you could improve your English without even speaking? Most people think you must talk a lot to learn a language, but that's not true. How can this be possible? Let me explain. How to learn without speaking. You can get better at English quietly. This means you do not need to speak out loud at first. Instead, you can listen, read, and think in English. This is called the silent learning method. It helps you learn new words and sentences in a calm way. You will still get better at understanding English. Later, even your speaking will improve. You will do all this with no stress at all. Benefits of the silent learning method. Learning silently has many good points. It is especially helpful if you are shy. No pressure. You can practice without fear because nobody can hear you. You will not worry about mistakes. Build confidence. As you think in English, you will feel more comfortable with the language. When you are ready to speak, you will feel that you can do it. Improve listening. If you listen and read a lot, your brain will learn to understand English better. Speaking will also become easier when you try it later. Anywhere, anytime. You can practice silently anywhere, like on the bus or in bed. You can think in English, and no one will even know you are practicing. Try a simple silent exercise. Here's an easy exercise to practice silent learning. Look around and think in English. Choose a thing near you right now. In your mind, say the English word for that thing. For example, if you see a book, silently say to yourself, "This is a book." Make a short sentence. Now think of a simple sentence about it. For the book, you might think, "The book is on the table," but only in your head. Do not speak it out loud. Listen in your mind. If you know how the sentence sounds, try to hear it in your mind. You can even move your lips a little without sound. This helps your mouth get used to English words. Do this every day. Try this silent exercise with different things each day. One day, think about what you see on the way to school or work. Another day, think in English while you eat or before you sleep. This exercise is quiet and simple. It helps your brain start to think in English without any speaking at all. Try the silent learning method today. See how much you can learn just by listening and thinking. You might be surprised at how fast you get better. If you like this idea, please watch our other videos on the legendary listens for more easy English tips. We have many other fun ways to help you learn. Keep practicing silently, and when you feel ready, you will speak more easily and without fear. Good luck and happy learning!